Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a few moments to become present. Find a nice, comfortable seated position on a cushion or a block or a towel, something that allows your spine and the back of your neck to sit nice and long and tall, opening up your diaphragm, opening up your chest, opening up your diaphragm, and opening up your heart. Gently close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present and returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or a positive phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intentions I'd like to talk about are the chakras. So the chakras were first described in the ancient Hindu scripture, and they've been referenced in Indian, Chinese, Tibetan, and Japanese teachings for thousands of years. Chinese practices that use chakras include Tai Chi, Qigong, and acupuncture. Japanese practices that use chakras include Reiki and sound therapy, which is shakuhachi. So the Indian practices, Hindu practices, include yoga and Ayurveda. So chakra translates to wheel. So think of the wheels or the gears in a clock. So when one slows down or one speeds up or one stops, kind of throws the whole clock off. And that's kind of what the chakras do to your system. They're these little energy discs, and there are over 100 of these chakras in your body, but the focus is often on the 7 main ones that run along your spine. So I'm going to show you a picture that you've probably seen a million times of when people talk about chakras. So they start at the bottom at the root chakra and go up to the top of the head, the crown, and they run along your spine. And they are connected by energy pathways or channels called Nadis, N-A-D-I-S. So any emotional or physical disturbances in the body and mind are thought to stem from an underactive or overactive or blocked chakra, these energy wheels along your channels there. And that when they're underactive or overactive or blocked, they prevent a balanced flow of energy that goes through your body. Tools that help balance chakras include the asanas, our yoga practice, physical yoga practice, but also meditation, pranayama, mantras, mudras, essential oils, sound therapies, and then if you get into the Chinese, the acupuncture can clear the pathways as well. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's just go back to my gallery view there. So to start with, let's do a pranayama. We've done this one a number of times before, but it's really an essential one for clearing chakras, clearing out those wheels. And it's called Nadi Shodhana. And Nadi, I mentioned earlier, are those channels that run along your spine. There's a left and right one, and they cross over, kind of crossing your spine like this. And then the Shodhana is purification. So this breathing technique, this pranayama, provides a purification of those channels. It's also known as alternate nostril breathing, which may click in, oh yeah, we've done that before. So first we'll start with the mudra. It's called Vishnu mudra, and that mudra in itself is about balance. So that mudra is, you're going to take your hand and you're going to bend your index and your middle finger down, leaving the other threes extended. Or if that's uncomfortable, you can use thumb, forefinger, whatever. But this one's particular mudra called Vishnu mudra. And what we do is we inhale through one nostril while blocking the other with our thumb. And once we get to the top of the nostril, or inhale, that nostril then gets closed off, and we exhale through the other nostril. Exhale, and then we inhale again, not moving our fingers. Back up that nostril, and then at the top of the inhale, we switch fingers. So let's just try that for a few moments. Inhale through one nostril while blocking the other. Top of the inhale, we're going to switch fingers and closing off that nostril. Exhale through the other one. And then inhale again. At the top of the inhale, switch fingers. Exhale. Inhale. Top of the inhale, switch fingers. Exhale. Inhale. And just kind of create a nice even flow. Taking nice deep breaths that come from your stomach all the way up. And one last time. So for our meditation this morning, you can continue on with the Nadi Shodhana or alternate nostril breathing. You can just do your regular breathing. But I'd like you just kind of focusing from that picture I showed you, from the base of your spine, and just kind of, when you inhale, flow up the base, or flow up your spine to the point where you reach the crown of your head, the top of your head. And then on the exhale, kind of flow back down, going from your top of your head along the spine, the back of the neck, all the way down through your spine. So let's just do that for a few moments. I'm going to meet you on the mat. Alrighty, we'll start our asana practice. So while you are in your nice basic seated position, we'll do a few shoulder shrugs. Just kind of gently rolling the shoulders up toward your ears and then relaxing them down, creating little circles as you go in a nice gentle way, just kind of loosening up your shoulders, the upper body, back of your neck where a lot of stress gets built up. Just kind of releasing that stress. And then going the other direction for a few shrugs. And then we'll do our chest openers and some breaths. So we'll place our fingertips along the side of us, and lift our arms up overhead. Then you can bring your palms together or keep them apart, what's comfortable for you. And then we'll bring our hands down to heart center. And then opening up our hands on the inhale. And then exhale, closing our hands. Then inhaling, bringing them back up again. And then exhale down. So we're going to inhale again, and you go at your own pace. Like nice and slow, using really deep, long inhales. And then nice, long exhales. Bringing the hands down to your heart center. Then inhale, open. And then exhale, close. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. One last time up. Inhale. And then a big exhale down. Then we'll take our right hand, place it on our left knee, and then bringing our left fingers behind our hip, twisting our torso to the left side, sending our gaze straight ahead. Take a nice deep breath. And then we're going to leave our right hand exactly where it is on the left kneecap, and I'm going to bring our left hand over to the left kneecap. So our arms are crossed, and then we'll bring the backs of our hands together for eagle arms. And inhale, lifting our elbows up. And then exhale, lifting or lowering them back down. Lifting them up, lifting them down, that's it doesn't work. And then we'll put our hands back on our knees. We'll take our right hand, bring it behind our hips, twisting our torso to the right. Nice big inhale and exhale. And then we'll bring our right hand over our left arm, bringing it over to the left kneecap. And then bringing the backs of our hands together again. Lifting our elbows up. And then lowering our elbows down. And then bringing our hands back down to our knees. And then releasing. We'll do that one more time. So right hand comes to the left knee. twisting our torso to the left, bringing our left fingers behind us. Then we'll bring our left hand over the right, placing the left hand on the right kneecap. Back of the hands come together. Lift our elbows up slightly and then lower them down. Placing both hands back on the kneecaps. Taking the right hand, bringing it behind our back, twisting our torso to the right. And then bringing our right hand over our left, placing it on our left kneecap. Back of the hands come together, lifting our arms up and then down, placing our hands back on our kneecaps, and then releasing the pose. Then we'll slide down or roll down on the mat. We're going to end up in mountain pose. So you can roll down whichever way you want. And I'm going to stretch out my legs and slowly lower down, connecting one vertebra at a time with the mat. Just coming down into a nice, comfortable mountain pose. And then I'm going to take the right foot and slide it along the inner left leg till it reaches the knee and our legs form a figure 4. And then bring that right ankle, let it sit on top of the left leg just above the kneecap. And bring the left foot to the mat. And this is a reclined pigeon. You can rest here if this is comfortable for you, or you can take it further by lifting your left leg up, flexing both toes up toward the sky, keeping your right knee pointing to the right side of the mat. And then maybe interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and gently guide that left leg toward your chest. Navel's tucked to the spine. Your elbows are tucked toward close to your ribs. You feel that your shoulder blades in the mat. And then we'll put the left foot back down on the mat and slide it all the way down, keeping our right foot on our left leg. And then taking the right knee and bring it over to, just kind of windshield wiper it over to the left side of the mat. And we'll do a spinal twist. Shoulder blades are still nice and snug in the mat. Then we'll release that leg, the right leg, send it back down, come back to reclined mountain pose. And we'll do that on the other side. So sliding the left foot up the inner part of the right leg till it reaches the knee area. And the legs form a nice figure 4, the old-fashioned 4. And then we'll place the left ankle on the right leg just above the knee. Bring the right foot onto the mat, guiding the left knee toward the left side of the mat. And if you want to continue, you can lift your right foot up, pointing both toes up to the sky. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh and gently guide it toward your chest. Bringing your elbows alongside your ribs. Shoulder blades are nice and snug in the mat. And then placing the right foot back down on the mat, sliding it all the way down while our left foot is still on our knee. And then we'll windshield wiper that left knee over to the right side of the mat. Shoulder blades are nice and snug still on the mat. And then we'll bring that leg back down. And at this point, you can bring your knees to your chest and turn over. We're going to come up to our hands and knees, or you can kind of roll up and cross over your legs and come up to your hands and knees, coming to tabletop. So with tabletop, our fingers are nice and spread wide apart, gripping the mat, index finger pointing to the top of the mat. Wrists are right below our shoulders. Hands have a little bit of pressure in them so that we can create a nice space between our shoulders and our ears, opening up our neck area. Knees are right below our hips. Navel's tucked to the spine. And we'll do a few head turns just to loosen up our neck. So we're going to take our nose and turn it over to the right side, sending our gaze straight ahead, or not straight ahead, but to the side, straight ahead. And then down, bringing our nose facing the mat, and then bringing it over to the left side. And we'll kind of just create a nice flow, moving our nose from one side to the other. You can synchronize it with your breath. And then back to tabletop with our gaze going right straight down. We'll go into cat-cows. So on the exhale, we'll round our back, tucking our tailbone and our head down. Really feel that spine open up. And then lifting our head and tailbone up, sending our gaze straight out in front of us. And then we'll again exhale, tucking our head and tailbone down, rounding our spine. Then inhale, lifting our head and tailbone up, sending our gaze straight ahead, and then we'll just continue this flow. A few more breaths. Keeping that pressure in our hands so that we keep that space in our body open. And then come back to tabletop. We're going to lower our hips down to our ankles, sending our hands out to the top of the mat. Bring our forehead down to the mat. Just giving this a nice gentle stretch in our arms. And we'll lift our forehead off the mat, come back to tabletop. And tuck our toes under, walking our hands back. We'll come into a squat position and pushing down into the balls of our feet. come up to mountain pose. So we'll just lift our toes up off the mat, and then bringing them back down, lift our heels up off the mat, and bringing them back down, really feeling grounded, that stability, that strength, and that stillness that mountain pose provides. And then our legs will actually go through the essentials of good posture. Our legs are nice and straight and strong. Gentle bend in our knees, kind of create those springs there. Navel's tucked to the spine. Spine is nice and long. Back of the neck is nice and long. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back, opening up our chest. Chin is slightly tucked back, so you can really feel that lengthening of the back of your neck, kind of trying to get it in line with your spine. And then the crown of your head reaches to the sky. We'll sweep our hands up overhead. And then exhale, bringing the hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go, really supporting our lower back. Inhale, bringing our hands to our shins. Elbows are tucked in, creating that nice long spine, elongating it to the back of the neck by sending your gaze straight down. And then sending the crown of your head down toward the mat. And we'll just let gravity take over here for a moment. Lifting your fingertips up off, and you can get the full effect of the gravity. And then we'll sweep our hands from the bottom all the way up to the top. And as we come up overhead, lifting up onto our tippy toes. And then as we lift or bring our feet back down and our hands back down on the exhale, we'll sweep our hands up again, coming up onto the tippy toes. Really concentrate. There we go. And then slowly bringing our fingertips back down, slowly lowering our heels back down. And then we'll do that one more time, sweeping our hands up slowly, coming up to our tippy toes slowly. And really stretching it out. And then slowly lowering our hands back down, lowering our heels back down with control. And then sending our hands all the way down to the bottom of the mat, bending our knees as we go, lifting our hands up to our shins, nice flat back, long neck, and then sending the crown of our head down toward the mat. Sweeping our hands up overhead. Palms come together. We'll do some supported side stretches. So we'll bring our right hand down to the right thigh and slide it down toward the right knee. Creating a nice arc toward the right. And then lifting back up and sending our left hand down. Sliding that hand down toward our knee. And then back up again. One more time on each side. The right hand comes down. Sliding it down toward the knee. And coming back up again. And then the left hand comes down. Slide that down to the left knee. And then coming back up again. Palms come together, and then palms come down to the mat, down to the floor. Bending our knees as we go. Inhale, lift them up to our shins, flat back of the neck nice and long. And then crown of the head drops down toward the mat. And then we'll sweep our hands up again. Big inhale, bringing them up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And we're just gonna do a few leg lifts here. So feet are about hip width apart. You may want to bring them just a skosh closer. And we'll just lift one leg at a time. So I'm going to lift the right leg up as if I'm sitting in a chair, the knees at a 90-degree angle. And just kind of focus on your drishti, find a drishti to focus on. And then when you feel nice and stable, you can open that leg to the right, either guiding it with your hand or just turning it to the right. And then we'll bring that down and we'll do that on the other side. So lifting the left leg up, 90-degree angle, and just kind of let it hang there until you feel nice and stable. And then opening up your leg to the left. And then bring that back down. We'll sweep our hands up overhead one more time. And then lowering the hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. Bringing our hands to our shins, nice flat back, half forward fold. And then sending the crown of our head down toward the mat. And then sweeping our hands up overhead. Big inhale. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And palms come to the back of our hips. We're going to do a supportive back bend. Palms are on the hips. Fingertips are facing down. Navel's to the spine. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. We're going to tuck our chin in toward our chest and then drop our shoulders back to the point where you can still have that nice even flow of breath. And keep that chin tucked and not drop our head back. Head weighs, I think, around 10 pounds, if I remember correctly. And that angle on your neck, if you drop it back, is not supported at all. And then we'll come straight up, back to mountain pose. Well done, everyone. So, as I mentioned, chakras is today's intention. Talk about the chakras. And I just ask, I'll raise my hand to this question. If you've ever come to the mat feeling blue or upset, and after you've done your practice, you've walked off the mat, and things feel a little bit lighter, you may have experienced how the chakras work. And you may have been stuck in a particular area or have your clock gear, if you will, the chakra, just kind of stuck. And by doing certain poses or the breathing, the pranayama, it's opened up that energy channel and things just feel better. I often compare it to like when the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz gets all his joints oiled. the tin can, and everything starts to move really well. So chakras can do that for you. So what we're going to do this next session is go from the root chakras up to the crown chakra. And I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to just mention a few of the physical spots that particular chakra affects in the physical body. And then we'll go through it again, and I'll mention a few things that chakras affect in the subtle body, the internal body. So first, we're going to start with the root chakra. If you remember that photo, it's your pelvic area, the bottom of your spine, basically. If you envision your spine throughout this. So it's the bottom of the spine. And physically, it regulates and affects your feet and your legs. So the most common pose that we do to get everything lined up, but mostly your root chakra, is mountain pose. So we're in mountain pose now. Well done, everyone. And then another one that we can do really focuses on the legs and the feet is chair pose. So let's sweep our hands up overhead and bend our knees, dropping our hips down toward the mat, coming into chair pose. Our knees are behind our toes, so we can still see our toes. Like you're trying to sit in a chair, arms are straight out that way or raised up to the sky. And then come back up. So you really feel that energy in your legs and your feet. Then the next chakra is the sacral chakra. So we're going to bring our toes. It's going to be a little different practice than we normally do. So bring your toes to the edge of the mat. Heels are tucked in. And we're going to lower ourselves, the wide-legged squat. Lower our torso to the legs. And the sacral chakra is all about the hips, the sacrum, the abdomen, thighs, knees, joints. So you can see how it's all involved in this wide-legged squat. We'll just stay here for a moment. And then we're going to bring our sit bones down to the mat. And then we'll roll back. You can roll back using the express method, tucking your hands under your knees and just kind of roll back onto your back. Probably this pose all by itself will help open up your chakras along your spine. But we're going to do what I like to call the rowboats. So we place our hands on our knees, extend our arms fully. So feel that between the bottom of your pelvis on up to where your belly button is, just below your belly button. That's the sacral chakra area. So you're going to feel that when we do our rowboats. So we'll open up our knees wide, keeping our feet together, our toes touching, and then guiding the knees back up toward our shoulders, and then closing our knees over our chest. We'll do a few more of those rowboats. So extending our arms fully, feel that sacral area kind of get engaged, opening up our hips, opening up our legs, opening up our hips, guiding our knees back toward our shoulders, and then closing the knees over the chest. And we'll do that one more time, extending knees forward, opening the knees to each side, keeping our toes touching, guiding our knees back toward our shoulders, and then closing our knees over our chest. And then we're going to happy baby. So bringing your hands to the outer edges of your feet. Soles of your feet are up to the sky. Your tailbone is coming down toward the mat. We'll just rock a little bit here. Feel that sacral area between the base of the spine, right to the point or right below your belly button. Alrighty, and then we're going to bring our knees back together again, and we're going to roll up. So you can use whatever way you want to come back to a seated position, but we're going to have our feet on the mat and our knees bent still. And then we're going to go to the third chakra, which is the solar plexus. So envision, again, from right below your belly button on up to your rib cage. So we're going to do some half rowboats, or half boats here, not rowboats, but half boats. So lifting your legs parallel to the ceiling, to the sky, and you can tuck your hands underneath, and we'll just drop the right foot down, and then the left foot down, and both feet down. You feel that coming in right above your belly button, right around your rib cage there. So right foot goes down, left foot goes down, both feet go down. You could do that with the hands tucked under, or if you want to release your hands, have them alongside your legs. We'll just do that for a few moments. Alrighty, bring that down. And then we're going to come into a modified plank. So I'm going to cross my legs and then reach over and come up back onto my hands and knees. Back to tabletop. And we'll kickstand the left foot out, keeping the left shoulder right above the left wrist. Send the right foot down to the bottom of the mat. And instead of sending our arms straight up, we're going to send it alongside of our leg as we lift our leg. So we'll sweep the hand back toward the foot, lifting our right leg up, and then bringing it back down. And we'll do that 2 more times, sweeping the right hand along so it's parallel with the leg, and then coming back down. And one last time, sweeping it up, sending the foot out, and coming back down. We'll come to the other side and do that. On the other side, right shoulder's right above the right wrist, and then we'll sweep our hand back, lifting our leg up, and then come back, sweeping our hand down toward the bottom of the mat, lifting our leg up, and then back. And then once, last time, lifting the leg up, sweeping the hand up, and coming back. Back to tabletop, and then we'll send our feet down to the bottom of the mat and come into plank pose. So with the plank pose is like the ultimate solar plexus chakra move. And really that core that we always talk about, that's that solar plexus area. So you could stay here, or if you'd like to join me, you can go and do some side planks. So lift my right leg up, cross it over, drop it down, and lifting my right arm up. And then back again, back to plank. Lift the left leg up, cross it over, lift the left arm up, and then back down again. And then back to plank, and then knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga our way down to the mat. And with our hands right below our shoulders, we're leaving the third chakra and coming into the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. So with our hands below our shoulders, elbows tucked to the sides, lifting our chin and chest up, really sending our heart forward, going into the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. And that's obviously about our chest. It's also about our shoulders. I'm going to push up into tabletop and coming back down, sitting on our ankles, coming into hero's pose. Then we'll interlace our fingers behind our backs and send our knuckles down toward the mat, really opening up our chest. And if you want to take it a little further, go into a modified camel by bringing your fingertips to the mat and coming back so that your hands are flat on the mat and your chest is open. And keeping your head upright, not dropped back. And your chest is nice and open. And that's the heart chakra. So now I'm going to move to the throat chakra. And I'm going to come a little forward on my mat. So I'm going to roll back down. Now it's going in order of the chakras is exactly the easiest flowing sequence. So we're going to come back down to the mat, your preference on how you'd like to come back down. And then the throat chakra is about, keeping your feet on the mat, is about your throat, but also about your shoulders. And I should have mentioned the heart was more about your shoulder blades, keeping that protection on the back of your heart. And the throat chakra is more about the tops of your shoulders where they connect to the arms. And it's also about your mouth and your ears, all this area up in the top of your, so if you're having throat congestion or such, you know, the throat chakras, that area that is affected, like the gears in the clock, it makes you not run quite well. So for the throat chakra, we're going to do a few bridge poses. So our knees are facing up to the sky. Our feet are on the mat, about hip width apart, tucking our heels close to our hips as is comfortable. Arms are alongside us with palms facing down. And then we're going to concave our tummy, make a cat pose out of it. So we're kind of arching our lower back and then pushing down to our feet, lifting our hips up toward the sky, coming into bridge pose. So you can see that the energy is all going to that shoulder, neck, mouth area. And then we'll slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. And we'll do this 2 more times. So tucking our tummy in, bringing our navel to our spine, and push down to our feet, lifting up into bridge pose. And then lowering back down again. And one last time, tucking our tummy in, lifting up, going back up to bridge pose. And this time, bring your hands underneath so that when you come back down, lowering back down on your spine, you're going to end up sitting on your hands. And then another pose for the throat chakra is legs up the wall. So you lift your feet up toward the sky. And if you want, take it a little further, come into shoulder stand. So to do that, I'm going to bend my knees, bring my hips up to the sky, and then extend my legs up. So you can tell that energy for your throat chakra is all in your shoulders, all in your neck. And then we'll come back down, bending the knees, and then lowering our hips down to the mat. And then we're going to come to the next chakra, but that's standing up. So again, I'm going to come to a seated position. And once I'm in a seated position, I'm going to have the foot that's on the outside point the direction that I'm going to turn. So my left foot's pointing this way. I'm going to place both hands on this side and then come up to a standing position. So the next chakra is called third eye chakra. And that governs your eyes, your forehead, the area that you really concentrate. So for this pose, what's a great pose is tree pose. And we're going to go from tree pose into eagle pose, just so you're forward. And tree pose, you can have your foot on the mat, ankle on ankle, or heel on ankle. I always say that wrong. Or slide it up to your calf, or slide it all the way up to the top of your thigh. So the idea with third eye chakra is really to look with your eyes, find that drishti, concentrate with your forehead. And then we're going to come right into eagle pose. So just kind of dropping the right leg down, crossing it over, sending your right arm under your left. Again, it's that focus that you're looking for. Keep you upright in eagle's pose. And then we'll come back to mountain. And the last chakra is the crown of your head, which includes your head, your brain, everything here. And we'll just keep the crown of our head reaching toward the sky. And I'm going to bring my hands to Anjali Mudra and bring the thumbs to my third eye, which is right in the middle of my eyebrows, lifted up slightly from the eyebrows. And that just kind of focuses my head on my head. So bring your thumbs to your third eye, to your forehead, to your head, and just relax. Typically a crown chakra pose would be Shavasana, but who's to say you can't do Shavasana standing up? Just relaxing your body, bringing that thumb to your eye, and relaxing. Alrighty, so you bring that down. Oh, actually I'm already out of time. so I can't go through it again, but let me just tell you what each chakra is for the subtle body. So in the root is at the base of the spine, and that's about your legs, feet, bones, and it's about security and stability. So emotionally in your subtle body, if you're not feeling secure or stable in some way, it's that part of the root chakra or part of that chakra system that is most affected. The sacral chakra is about creativity and emotions. So there's times when I've come to the mat, do a lot of hip openers, and I'll end up crying on the mat, not really sure what's going on, but it's that release through my hips in that sacral area that kind of releases those emotions. The solar plexus is about confidence and willpower. So that's our core strength. We often talk about getting that fire in your belly, that drive, that willpower. And that all comes from this area. Your throat chakra, I forgot the heart chakra, is about love and connection. Makes sense. Throat chakra is about communication and expression. So having that clear and open allows you to convey your ideas in a better way. Third eye is about intuition and awareness. So when we come into tree pose or into eagle pose, we're really focusing our awareness on something, really focusing. We're not thinking about other things going on, because that often doesn't work when we're doing tree pose. So it's the intuition, but also that awareness. And the last one, the crown chakra, is about the spiritual connection and peace. So again, coming into Shavasana, whether you're standing in mountain pose or lying on your mat, bringing your thumbs to your third eye, really focusing on that spiritual connection with the other power, the universe, and with yourself, bringing peace. So there you have it. There's the chakra system. So we'll actually dive into these a little bit more, just kind of touching on them in the weeks to come. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. Turn off our video.